Perfect.
I feel like you found the low-grade propeller setting and turned it off.
He did.
Well,
he did. And as soon as
some reason, they were like, you know what? Instead of the $150 recording device, we'll just go ahead and use the webcam.
Yeah. I know I'm a little laggy. Can you guys hear me okay, though?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So I started recording 25 seconds ago. So welcome to the Strength Hammer podcast, everybody. I hope you're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the professionalism that is this podcast. All 139 of you that subscribe, we thank you very much. And we hope you continue. Please tell your friends, like and subscribe, share, smash the ringy bell button. If you're listening to this on the audio format, you can't tell my videos crap anyway. So yeah, enjoy the dulcet tones of everybody here, which includes David Roque.
Hello.
Dulcet tones.
Neil LaRocca.
Hello. Dulcet tones.
And Matt Hayward.
How's it going?
Lame.
Man, it's great. So,
listen, we got a destruction episode ahead of us. We gotta
wait. Is that Big M? That's not us. We're not doing. No, we're not. No, we're not doing destruction here. We're doing Kragnos review. I guess he's destruction.
Nice.
If you think that's God. He's only the god of destruction. Or, he's the god of earthquakes. They just made it up. He's the god of. Can you put out 18 mortal wounds and top of round 1? Cool.
Well, I've got a good story about that from this past weekend.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the main topic. But first, real quick, before we even do the chat about our fitness and our hobby, because the hobby is just gonna bleed right into the main topic, which is your event, Neil, for the launch party. But we're gonna do a quick rundown of Kragnos' lore, so we can officially say we've done all the lore for the Broken Realms. So. Who here has read Kragnos? I know I have.
I have actually gotten a little bit through it.
Okay.
I have read Kragnos. It's right here on the bottom. It says Kragnos. Gnos. All right.
Perfect. Perfect.
There, I've read that.
You have read.
I've read 3/4 of it and then listened to Garage Hammer to finish it up.
Yeah. If you've listened to Garage Hammer or watched 2+ stuff, I accept it as being fully aware of what's going on.
I would like to point out that where I am in this thing is not coming up clearly.
No, but Excelsius.
I'm in part 1. I literally just got to the part where the next thing I do is find part 1 in Excelsius. So
the good news is, even though we're going to cover it right now, we probably won't spoil it enough to make it not fun to keep reading. So that's great. So essentially, what you got is you got this big centaur boy, all right. And Neil, jump in any time here. So I'm gonna get a layout. So we got this big centaur boy. His name's Kragnos. Centaur race. We're way.
I believe it was originally Kragnos, it just got changed over the ages.
Listen, dialects change. It's just natural. So he's way back in the Age of Myth. Like we got the Dracothians. Like Sigmar hasn't even landed yet. Like we're way deep back into there, and pretty peaceful, I think. Culture that Kragnos is. No one really wants anything, but there's this one centaur lady that, and this is legit for everyone listening, there's a centaur lady and he wants on that horse, and it's like, no, you really can't, because like you got this and this and this, and he's like, you know what, time to start figuring out what war is. So he's going after that girl, and that's why he becomes so riled up and so angry, and then it just kind of grows.
His brother's girl too.
Was it
his brother's girl?
Yeah.
I just like the idea that now, again, this is news to me because I didn't read that far in, and this is probably on like page 6 or something. But he just sets out one day and he's like, you know what I feel like doing today? I'm going to go out and invent war. This is going to be great. Chicks dig it.
I mean, basic. That's just like basic energy right there. It's like, well, I want this girl. I can't have it. Well, then we're gonna fight until someone's dead.
Is it a girl? Is it a mare? What are we dealing with here? I don't know. I don't know how to.
Hey,
I'm not checking under the hood.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how they identified it in the Age of Myth, but I'm just gonna go with it was a mare lady, Lentar lady.
It was an object of affection.
No, the crazy part is it's the torso of a man with the body of a mare. So just all over the place.
Like
a
a
hermaphroditic
God.
centaur.
Thanks for that image.
Okay.
I
I thought you were just
I'm-
describing a regular centaur. Like,
if you are
He's
listening,
carrying around a little coat hook with him.
if you have survived this 5 minutes and 10 seconds in this podcast, I applaud you because wow. Anyway, so yeah, and he starts. I'm not sure which dialect this is. This might be Australian. Fukinabut. That's
That
Australian?
sounds Canadian.
Is that Canadian?
Actually.
Canadian. Thank
Yeah.
you.
that's Canadian Australian.
Canadian, Australian. They're so close because they're not America. You know, it's like
Canadian Australian.
I think it fits in well with Neil's British accent.
there we go. My Australian accent is going to be Canadian. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then Croak is just hanging around apparently because that's what he does, and he's like, "Yeah, let's put you inside of a mountain." After he, some stuff happens. It's Kragnos. Who cares? So he goes inside a mountain in this weird not stasis field for a bajillion years. We get the Age of Chaos. We get the Age of Sigmar now, and
Oh, and don't forget the dragon people are gone because of this.
yeah, he squished all the eggs. Except unless you read the latest White Dwarf GW Broken Realms Tales, which revealed that they're not all gone. They're hatching again.
Yeah, but the Seraphon did steal the eggs. They do mention that.
They were
not steal, but they
They were
given
given
to
eggs.
them. Yeah.
So they kept them protected, and now they're hatching. So the Dracothians are coming back. Kragnos is going to be mad because all that work he did to get that girl's gone. His entire race and civilization's gone, and those dragons are back. The guy
And
literally
Mega
got
Gargants are bigger than him.
the guy literally got horny and failed everything. Like,
I mean, this
What?
sounds like
I don't think
straight destruction. That's
I mean, you know why Destruction's mad, I guess. You know what? Since we're using this new program. Oh yeah, we're using Skype today, everybody. Not that I'm going to show you the logo. Not that I like Skype, but Google Meet limits you to 1 hour, so fuck them. But I can do this. I can hit a little heart button, and I'm not sure if it popped up on my screen, but maybe it did. I don't know.
it did. At least
Cool.
On my side.
I didn't see anything.
Oh,
Of course,
well,
if you don't see anything, if you're capturing your screen and you didn't see anything,
that's true. Neil, will you heart something? Will you heart react?
I don't even know how to do that on this.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
hold on. Here we go. There it is.
And I see it up on the top, but not on your
Yeah.
screen. Like, I don't see it on... It's stupid.
This is awful. Fuck you, Skype. Thank you for letting us use you, but fuck you. Yeah. So anyway,
And the she-male centaur you wrote in.
yes. Call back. So he gets locked away, and then flash forward to the Age of Sigmar.
horse on the top, lady on the bottom. It's-
Wait. So he's dual horse.
Just like that old gypsy woman said.
Sure. So he eventually breaks out of the mountain during the Age of Sigmar because Alariel's like, you know what? Nagash is done. I want to make Athalorn again, which I think, Neil, you're pretty happy about this, as am I.
Can I jump onto this part
Please,
here for a
please
second?
go.
So,
Describe this part actually really well because I love Alariel and I love this part.
let me set the scene for you here. So we have Alariel versus who is back in power in her hunter aspect, and she makes it for the Oak of Ages, or what's left of the Oak of Ages, and this is actually a piece of the world that was, and it is it's a part of Gyron that's been taken over by Nurgle, and of course, this thing's all hollowed out and dead, whatever. And so Alariel gets there, and they're fighting these beastmen. And she makes this big proclamation about how, she no longer cares. She's going to do this thing, and even if she dies, she's going to make this thing happen, right? What this thing is,
Poor beastmen.
we'll find out.
Poor beastmen, because they wrote them like they're actually trying, and it's just like, you have no chance. You're beastmen.
No, and they didn't. They really didn't. They're like, hey, they remade the Dirge Horn, if you remember what this is.
Realm Gate Wars, right? Yep.
Realm Gate War, all
Heck
the way
yeah.
back to the Realm Gate Wars. Yeah. So, and then they stuck it back together with puke or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they're blowing this horn, and it's making really sad sounds. And then Alariel's doing her song, and they're kind of competing against each other. And go ahead and guess which one wins there, quite handily, by the way.
Well, to be fair, Alariel is singing her song the Sylvaneth are joining her, and she's like, you know what? Back in Athaloran, we had these like more elven things. So she makes more revenants, which are like the mix of elves and Sylvaneth, technically, with the spirits. And she's like, hey, you guys got flutes now. Start playing my song. Because, you know what?
Which I like to think is the Careless Whisper song.
Well, like, if you have a choir of 1 million people, and then you bring in like 1,000 wood instruments, I mean, listen, I was a brass player, and that's what that horn is. That's a low brass, so I respect that. But there's no way that low brass is going to win against all that.
Now, while the Sylvaneth are dying, their spirits are actually going into the Oak of Ages and rejuvenating it, and that is in fact how she makes those revenants.
True.
So that was kind of interesting to me. And then she did speak about Athaloran, this whole swamp as she's murdering all these beastmen. Their souls, I believe, are going into the Oak of Ages too.
They are. Which finally some useful beastmen.
There you go. they just get murked out in every story. Period. Like there's not even like a character that they had like a character they talked about and like.
Well, see, here's the fun part. They could take it's like, oh, these beastmen souls are in there with the Sylvaneth souls, so they could kind of like use that as a way to like revive the Kurnothi, which is like, you know, the beast wood elf that we got for that one war band that we desperately need an entire army of. We need it as the other half.
And don't forget, we have one Kurnothi hero from Curse City.
We do
for the people who were able to get it.
We do. Good for them.
Because GW didn't make enough of it.
Yeah, but so her rite enacts successfully. She brings back the Tree of Life. Life is now dominant, but the roots grow all across the realms because the realm roots spread all across the realms. Kind of like that Skaven thing, but less stupid. Sorry, I'm a big fan of Valerial, not Skaven. But that also somehow weakens Kragnos' mountain chamber, and he eventually breaks out. He arrives, and he's like, the hell's my people? Because he doesn't understand what time's passed because he's a moron. And he sees a city off in the distance, and he's like, I'm going to go fight that.
Yep. And so he starts his march over there. Meanwhile, in Excelsius.
Back at the range.
There's Skaven like boring up through the. Well, I guess before the Skaven, we have the elves are being assaulted in the streets by this group of heretics. I guess they become heretics, but it's
people
really
against
just
magic, really. Like they're kind of like anti-magic, which I think is a really
after
cool,
the whole.
Yeah, they form
cool
Pam.
Yeah. It's a really cool concept. Like they're like, oh, they're the Nullstone something.
Nullstone
I
Brotherhood.
thought Dave was really going to appreciate my acronym, but he did not.
No. He's sitting quietly as we fight through this lore.
Because I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we need to call that group the Dursleys.
So
people against magic?
Yeah, the Dursleys.
Yep.
So racial tensions are expanding. Let's say between elves and everybody else. It's not good. It's not good. And then Neil, what chaos faction's kind of playing off this?
So at one point, and they bring this up in Garage Hammer, I was listening to it too, but I felt the same way. Like they decide at one point that because like magic, right? Magic is, I guess they feel like mirrors kind of somehow reflect that, so they start getting all the mirrors and putting them in one place.
Yeah,
so
it's smart.
It feels like, boy, that's the worst decision you ever made, right?
That's how I defeat magic in my own home.
Right. Do you want Slanesh? Because that's how you get Slanesh.
And boy, do they get Slanesh. So that primordial being that was forming from Slanesh after Marathi became a god, it had nothing to do with Slanesh escaping partially at all. Not Marathi's fault.
Communism was just a red herring.
Okay.
Thanks for getting the reference, I think.
I do, but this is tying back to something I told Matt before you guys joined. I won't mention it on air because that's a rabbit hole, but I'll tell you guys off air.
Sold.
But regardless, so the being can't figure out its form, so it's like, I'm just going to be twins. So we get Dexessa and Excessa, and they come to Excelsius in this magical room of mirrors where elves are being sacrificed in front of mirrors, and then, yeah. And then
Having to
Gordrak
watch
and
themselves die
Yeah.
in the mirror.
While
right?
everyone screams Bloody Mary.
yes.
I thought that too, right?
And then during all this, Gordrak's on his march with the giant ram from a god beast with I'm sorry, I actually I'm not trying to be insulting here. I forget the goblin leader's name. Is it Scragrot?
Scragnos, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like Greenskin, so I'm not too upset by. I'm not like Skaven. But he's marching and he's leading his big wall, and all of a sudden he comes upon Kragnos, and they just all start fighting because that's what destruction does. And Gordrak's Maw Crusher gets punked, but Gordrak gets some good punches in. There's also some mega gargants here now. It doesn't matter. It's a story. There's an avalanche, and they're all just like, oh, why don't we just all go fight the same thing? Because that's what we're gonna do anyway. Because how do you resolve a conflict between two destruction forces that can't really talk to each other? Yeah, you just have a stalemate, and they point at an
point at a
object.
city.
Yeah. So they go off to that.
Listen, I would like to consider that passing the interview. That's
Now, while all this is happening, the Skaven who have been kind of influenced by these Slaneshi twins, apparently. So there's I can't remember the Skaven guy's name. It's actually something very obvious because he likes fire, and so it has something to do with that. That's as much as
Is
I
his
can
name
remember.
Fire Rat?
Pretty much. We'll call him Fire Rat. And Fire Rat.
It's like I remember making fun of it going scritch, scritch, boom or something like that.
That's Ratachak. I'm imagining.
Ratachak.
There
There it is.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Dramatis Personae,
Ooh.
which is
There it
a
is.
page that I actually read earlier today. So
That's good.
it's one of like
You're the only
4.
one that read that.
Like I said,
So
it's funny
he
because
is
it's like
like
Dave's more prepared. Like the rest of us have read this like a month ago because we're behind. Like let's not be
Yep.
say it. But like Dave, since he's not, he's more prepared because it's fresher in his mind than us. I love it. Anyway, please. Neil,
I
continue.
say we keep going with Fire Rat. So
Fire
Fire Rat really likes fire, all right?
Mhm.
And Fire Rat uses his gnaw holes, and they come up through. They've like burrowed all through
Heyo.
Kiss mother with
Excelsius. So the Fire Rat and his friends are all up there. They're making all sorts of mayhem, and that's really all. The Stormcast go and fight them. They kind of fight them to the standstill, and then they kind of run away. And that was good for the Skaven. That's really what they wanted to do. They wanted to cause some chaos and then just get out of there. And
They were hired by the Snesh group to do that, right?
they were kind of influenced into doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
with money.
As Slaanesh is wont to do. Yeah. And so the White Reaper winds up during this battle taking a pretty
Can't
bad
just jump to
move.
that.
Yeah, well-
Who's the White Reaper?
Yeah, please, Matt, why don't you explain the White Reaper? Because the one thing I want to say in detail is who the White Reaper and our Witch Hunter friends are, because they have a really cool part, and I hope we see them continue throughout the lore, because I really like them. I'm not really going to put them on the table, because I don't have the models yet, but I just like their presence in the lore. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And they're very grounded.
Well-
Like, they get, like, real quick,
Yes.
before we go too deep into them, what I like about the witch hunters that you're going to describe to us is one of the things that says they love their wide brimmed hats because they can pull it over their eyes to get rid of their hangover. I'm like, perfect.
Block
They're
the sun while they're going through their hangover.
Yeah, whatever. Sure. Move on.
Yeah, so... Oh, I can't remember his name. What's his real name? Doesn't matter.
Daddy Witch
he-
Hunter.
No,
Call him
not him. I'm
Franklin.
talking about
Franklin,
the
Witch
White
Hunter.
Reaper.
Oh, the
Um,
Stormcast Knight
So
Celestin? Or is he a Knight Cast?
no, he
He's a
is a
veteran.
Lord Veritant.
Oh,
He's a Lord Reaper.
Absent of a Griffhound, mind you. I thought that was a little bullshit, but,
Yeah.
you know...
come on. What are you even doing?
I mean, if you have the opportunity to put a Griffhound in the story, you put a Griffhound in the story, all right? Of course, I guess that means the Griffhound probably would have died. So,
And that dude's apparently Ceres Santanis,
Thank you.
Sarah Santanis.
or Nightman, as
Nightmare.
No,
Sneaky.
Yeah, so he's
Hey,
a
man.
Lord Veritant
The Knights Excelsius. Right?
who's awesome, and they should lower their points by 50 points so we can see him on the table.
Good story.
And yeah, and we also have the the father-daughter witch hunters who are great at killing endless spells. That's their task, which actually reflects well in their rules. Go listen to literally any other podcast that talks about them to hear an in-depth discussion about why they're fun and good. I'm just going to tell you they're good because they're cool, and they like to have hangovers and hide their eyes from the sun. Anyway, so they're fucking about. That's right. Get the Australian accent back in, not the Canadian.
Goodbye, mate.
So Gordrak, Kragnos, all these things are coming in. Skragrot's like, hey, send in the trolls first because the cannons, blah blah blah. Who cares? Big city destruction. Aww. That was cute, Dave. That was wholesome.
Thanks.
If you are here and you're at 20 minutes in and 23 seconds, you just saw some wholesome father content from Dave Roke. So let's all be appreciative of that. That is really sweet. Anyway,
I try.
You do good. But yes, so we have Kragnos and Gordrak and Skragrot and all these construction things attacking the city. There's this big, awesome ram that has Godby skull that they talked about back in what was that? Forbidden
Power.
Yes, thank you. That can like almost level a city with one swing. And Croak shows up and is like, I'm gonna put a ward around the city, and it freaking hits the ward and just blows up. And it's like, wow, why the fuck did you even write anything?
Can I just say that was actually the greatest turn of events. I love that they did that. That was like probably my favorite part of the story because they set that thing up to like knock down like a Zir, right? That like they're talking about just how ruthless this thing just kind of touches something. It's like the Juggernaut from X-Men, right? It's just gonna go through it no matter what. And this thing just hit that thing and it's just like, nah.
Okay, you know what? You know what? I was like, why did you even bother, GW? But Neil, I think you sold it. You sold it in the right direction for me. And Dave, I'm sure you like it because
I thought that was great.
Neil or Dave, I'm sure you like it because it was Croak, Lord Croak, who's just like, nah, I don't care about God Beast. We're done here. Regardless, things happen. City starts to fall. Skaven come up.
Got another visitor now.
Even more wholesome content for Dave Roke at 21:56 into the content. What's that kitty's name?
Lucy.
Can you
Lucy?
pet?
All right,
can you
great.
pet the kitty?
We got cat apps on the screen.
Pet Lucy. Yes, Lucy the cat is getting pets. Everybody. Yes. Kragnos and Destruction. They break down the city. They're fighting in the streets. Stormcast and humans are there trying to fight it off. And there's Skaven and there's Slanesh. Slanesh kind of get punked a little bit, mostly because the most important part of this whole story. Can you guys guess what it is?
It's Croak.
No,
Kragnos.
no, it's not. Croak.
Definitely Croak.
No, Croak's hiding and just doing spells. Neil
So
knows.
this
Hiding.
is
Like
the
a
part of the
froggy
story
bitch.
that makes really no sense
It makes perfect sense.
at all.
Makes perfect
Zero
sense.
sense.
100%.
Go ahead, Chuck. I know you're dying for this. Oh my god.
A black ark and a fleet of dark elven, let's say, ships come in, led by Marathi Kane and the Shadow Queen, and they're just like, yeah, you know what, we took the city, but we're gonna save this one. More wholesome content. David Roke at 23:07 in the podcast. I love it. All right, I think that's all David's kids and kitties. He might have a dog or
That
two.
we know.
No, there's still another cat, but I don't think she'll be down here.
There's another cat, but hey, good news, everybody. No piano lessons now, because all the kids are headed to bed. So Marathi Kane comes into the city, and she's looking around, and she's like, ah, there you are, Croak. What's going on? And like, you know, she gives a little gang sign to the gods of the realms, and start fighting. Witch elves are going in. They're taking out crap. They're turning the tide of the battle, and you know, here's why. So this whole city's been like, man, elves are just bad and evil and magic, and here's a very powerful elven god now, and she's like, no, we're good, we're gonna save you. And this is kind of like her way of going like, okay, I take and I give. This is a god being a god. She's not trying to take this city. Like, she showed up to help, and she did. And the Shadow Queen, the monstrous half of the Marathi Kane Shadow Queen duo, gets into battle of Kragnos, and somehow he starts getting the upper hand, which I really don't see. Now that's from a rules perspective. I don't see. But he starts beating her up, and Marathi Kane's looking at Kragnos, or like looking at Croak. I'm sorry. It's like, hey, why don't we just let's just yeet him out of here? And Croak's like, that's a good idea. So he opens a portal. Now here's where I'm going to say there's a fail. Croak could open a portal to literally anywhere. Middle of space, middle of a volcano, literally anywhere. He chooses the same realm. Granted, he chooses a chaos fort, I think a corn fort, but he's like, I will just put it like 1,000 kilometers away. How's that sound? And Marathi in the back of her mind's like, I guess. And she uses her duplicitous magic to make it look like Kragnos' home, the city that's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And he looks at her and it's like, this isn't over. And I'm just like, you don't even know who the fuck she is. Like, get the fuck out of here, horsey boy. And he runs through the portal and starts fighting some corn in like this dread fort, and who cares about him anymore? And then city's saved.
So how does? Here's my question. All right. So if we go timeline of things, right? So Kragnos was originally around pre-Sigmar,
Yes.
right? Now pre-Sigmar times, Age of Myth kind of stuff. At this point, Malarian is still trying to coalesce into an actual thing. He's just Shadow right now. He's not even, and he's still trying to get there. Which means Marathi
is still in
hasn't
Slash's
even
belly.
slithered out yet.
Yeah.
She's still in the belly. So how
Sigmar-
does she know about this stuff? And don't tell me that Marathi just like, she's just been spending her time reading up on Gur history. Like, she's been spending...
Neil, she reads the books too.
She does.
I don't know.
She does. I
don't know. I'm not buying this at all.
My assumption is she kind of has maybe like I guess you might call it a Slanesh trait, but that's kind of heretical in my mind. She might be able to like read the mind, and like maybe she like just casts a spell to make whoever looks at that portal see what they want to see. Like, that's
very Hoovian of you.
It's the portal of Erised.
Yes. Well, regardless, Kragnos is gone. City's saved. Gordrek's like, all right, I'm out. There's a great end times Broken Realms story that comes through called Cunnin. I think everybody should read, where he's like, oh, he's got a new mission, so he leaves. But we get to this end part where the Celstant Prime, who also came into this story, is kind of like having like a mock trial in the ruins of Excelsius, with the ruling council of Excelsius with Marathi, and he's like, oh, you took the city Anvilgard, I made it Harkaron, and she's like, I'm a goddess, I do what I want. Meanwhile, if you read the freaking Daughters of Cain battle tome, it says that the Celstant Prime talked to Marathi Kane in Harkaron for an entire day or night during a siege of Harkaron, and they worked out a deal. So I don't know why the fuck this is even happening.
Well,
he forgot.
Yeah, someone
Knights of
forgot they wrote that
Excelsior.
in there. But anyway,
I feel like the Knights of the Excelsior march to the beat of their own drum.
it's literally the Celstant Prime, though. He talked to her, and regardless, let's just.
Is there only one?
There's only one. His armor will change
Then why is
based on
there
where
a
he's
damn
at.
name?
You're supposed
But
to.
maybe
You're supposed to kind of like.
Maybe.
He's a great hero. He's probably Karl Franz in my mind, but like other people might see him as someone else, and they're wrong.
I think
If he's
what must
not
have happened.
Karl Franz.
He's been reforged so many times that he's just forgotten all about his previous discussion with Marathi.
I guess
Now he's
maybe.
Franz Carl.
Like I said, it probably chalk it up to the fact
Now
that
he's Hans and Franz from
that
Saturday Night Live.
I'm the only person that read the entire Daughters of Cain book cover to cover. Whatever. So anyway,
That's a strong flex, Chuck.
It's a pretty strong flex. I also have 300 witch elves now, so come at me.
Well, good. You can't put them all on the table, so.
I can. It's just cheating.
I want to see 300 snakes. That's Snick.
No, shut up. That's not
Okay,
happening.
isn't it?
That's too much fucking money.
Not with that attitude, pussy.
All right. Okay. Due to my potato my potato PC and the need of 240 more snakes. No. 260 more snakes. Starting a Patreon right now. Anyway, Marathi's like, I'm a goddess.
Just make sure you viewers just earmark that money for Snicks,
Snacks, yes. please
not
do.
computers.
So Marathi's sitting there going, Marathi Kane, I'm sorry, full title here. We respect the gods on this show. Cells and Prime's like, we're gonna kill you. Some judicators or prosecutors kind of starting to appear, and there's about to be a little bit of battle. And Marathi Kane's like, all right, I'll take you all on. Like, fucking got 4 four player turns before I die. I can take you all, and I'm also a goddess. And then who walks in, Matt? Who walks in? Do you know?
Gotrek.
No. It would have been equally as good,
Kragnos.
though. Yes, Kragnos. Kragnos walks in.
Yeah.
Literally, Kragnos walks in and says, we don't have time for this. Come on. And that's the end of the story. Kragnos walks in and is just like, no, you guys are being stupid. We're not doing this. We have bigger issues. End of story. Because the Stormcast are going to look into it, and Morathi's going to be like, all right, I didn't want to fight anyway, so.
So does Groomy actually come in and say, I ain't got time to bleed?
Pretty much. And then like
Awesome.
we left off, so Grugny is back in the realms, which we knew in Bellicor, but now it wasn't really told as Grugny, but now he's fully back. So maybe Neil's Caradron Overlords, if you're watching the video, you can see his bars for hero in the background. Maybe they get a little boost. I don't know if we're gonna get a Grugny model. I would love it. It'd be great if he could fit in any.
We're gonna get a Grugny model. We're gonna get a whole new dispossessed line called Grugny's Reclaimers. And it's going to be awesome. Maybe he might let KO into the book. Probably not, but maybe.
Wait, you can check out all that speculation over on the Big M's Power Hour whenever it comes out this month.
Coming soon.
Yeah. It can't be more
To a
late than this
theater near you.
podcast, so there we go. Broken Realms. Done and dusted. Good job, everybody. I think we had the best reviews possible. We had 2 attempts at solid actual reviews. We had an MS Paint and whatever the shit this was for the past 31 minutes. I'm happy.
I give it an A out of 12.
Yes.
A out of 12.
So, with that being said, Dave, what's your fitness been lately?
Wait,
What?
we have one speculative question to go around the table with for Kragnos.
Please.
If you were to send Kragnos somewhere, where would it be? Chuck.
Los Angeles, because that place is already fucked.
Los Angeles is not in the mortal realms, but okay. Dave.
I was going to say Congress.
Okay. I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference, but Neil.
Oh boy, let's send him to the realm of chaos. Anyone will do.
Realm of Chaos. All right. I think I would just go Anvil Garden.
Ooh. It's a shame because that place is already gone, so I don't know where you're sending it.
Parkron or whatever the hell it is.
Shots fired.
I want to make this fun. I want to send him to Azir.
Okay,
I'm gonna send him right into the middle of the damn gate, so his butt's on one side and face on the
Let's make it more fun. He comes out the portal and he literally just exits it the other side, but doesn't realize it's the same exact place. Like he just runs through like an archway. It's like, where am I at?
Yeah, Croak accidentally puts the portal right behind himself.
Yeah, it's actually just one of those banners that the high school football teams run through.
Exactly. Barathi's like, you really want to send him there? You know what? Victory lap for him. Go, Craig. Let's go. Yeah. Anyway, Dave, fitness. What are you up to?
I'm surviving.
Good.
This is the final week of my summer classes, so I am in full-on missing sleep to grade stuff mode. I'm
sorry we're taking the time away for this.
I am not sorry.
Okay.
But in the next few days, I will be furnishing this basement, which is empty and needs lots of stuff.
I don't know if you put up pictures on Twitter, but like from what I've seen, that's a big glow up, Dave. Like, good job. That's awesome down there.
Yeah.
Thank you. And soon, when I have my table assembled down here, the 4 of us shall get together and play a bars game.
Yay.
Sounds good. Neil, how about your fitness?
I am still doing karate 3 times a week, and I started sparring, so I'm getting punched in the face now, so that's good.
Beating up 16-year-olds?
Yeah, they're beating me up.
He struggles against the 8-year-olds.
Hold on. Sorry, we're getting some rain. It's like I can hear it through my headset. I'm like,
I was like,
it's fucking
nope,
raining.
I'm not out there. That's
Matt, where you at? Matt, what's your fitness?
nothing much this month. Been one thing after another. So I'm getting to the point where we're definitely seeking actual treatment for the back, since I haven't even been able to sleep in a bed for the last 2 weeks. So
Fair enough. Myself, I have been doing lots of traveling for work, and it's not stopping anytime soon. So lots of hotel workouts. But also when I am home, doing CrossFit 3 days a week, and I actually 2 days a week I'm doing a bodybuilding workout because I wanted my arms to be bigger again, and doing lots of core work. So that's actually been really satisfying. It's just mixing it up, making it different, give my body more rest time, because a bodybuilding workout compared to a CrossFit workout is less intensive, as you can imagine. But
that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on rest time. There
you go. Hey, recovery is a good thing. But yes.
By the way, so as far as fitness goes for all of us, nobody left last weekend without an extra 10 pounds on them.
So
Nobody.
Neil, do you want to know the weirdest thing? So we left your place, came home. My wife was a little hungry, so I just put I put an oven baked pizza in the oven. And our usual pizza is just going to be a Red Baron pizza with anchovies. We don't do it too often, but occasionally we do it. It's a quick, easy meal whenever we're just lazy. That's fine. I might be overeating calories for that day. I'll work on it throughout the week. I woke up the next day and I could still see the top two abs, and I'm just like, why are you here? I know what I did the past 2 days, and you don't deserve to be here. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
But yes, we're gonna go into hobby now. We'll start with Matt. Matt, I know you're gonna have ACO coverage for you and Cole on Big M's Power Hour. Yep. So you don't. If you want to touch on any of it here, go ahead. But what's your hobby been lately?
Well, that's been nuts. So for hobby, like you said, we went to Atlantic City Open. Mm-hmm. Presented by
Frontline Gaming.
Frontline Gaming.
Martin Orlando, who actually we're going to have on the podcast next time, I think, to talk more in detail about just ACO in general, and just hang out and make him regret his choice of joining us, because we'll talk about random shit.
Yeah, he did a great job. I got to meet his folks, and they are some of the most awesome people I've met at a convention. That went out really well. After that, I started and finished Techless, which I guess I'm not finished now because I showed it to Alex and he was like, "Oh, that's okay, I guess."
Well, like I said, it's done. It's table ready. Even I suggested maybe a few dry brushes here and there to make things pop a little bit.
But literally just glue dry brushes to them.
Yes.
So I went out to the store today and bought a new dry brush because I tried dry brushing him and actually had to paint over it because the dry brush was so awful. But I think it's because, I know you won't be able to see this, but
I think it's because a poor carpenter blames his tools.
My old dry brush is basically, it looks like someone exploded it. So, so we'll try again. And then I'm also working on the Stormcast half of the Dominion box set.
Nice.
Now, Matt, I do want to actually interject here on the dry brush. I had recently picked up an Army Painter dry brush, and I've found that to be very good as well.
Never heard of them.
Just thought I'd share that.
There goes that potential sponsor.
Dry brush.
But we do have a Brush for Hire. Now, Matt, what kind of slogan does Brush for Hire have?
Brush for Hire. We kill puppies every day, all day.
No, he doesn't.
Brush for Hire.
No, he doesn't, and that's a terrible thing to say.
Come watch it on stream.
But why is that in the slogan then if he doesn't do that?
One of his loving dogs literally passed away weeks ago. What the fuck are you doing?
That was weeks ago.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
I didn't say elderly dogs. I said puppies. Fine, orphans. There we go.
I'm okay. Kill the orphans. There you go.
We launch orphans into the sun.
Woo! Make them nice and crispy. So, Dave, what's your hobby, Ben? Besides regretting your co-host decisions. Oh,
I
there's
get to furnish this
Good job, Neil,
basement.
with the cry face. I'm going to join you in the cry face. No one else can see this at home. Maybe they can. I don't know.
I have to look for it to see it myself.
Just capturing your screen, Chuck. So whatever you see is what they see.
Because of trying to unpack armies to take stuff for Neil's event and stuff, and my painting area had been a complete disaster, even though it was already in its little nomadic state up in the den. But now that I've got it set up downstairs, and as I start bringing down models and whatnot, I can actually start painting again.
May I make a suggestion for your area, Dave?
Yes.
Get those like foam things around the
Sex
back
swing.
because like you have a slight echo, and therefore you should spend money on this podcast with 139 subscribers. That makes zero money.
I will
Actually,
spend
I
all of our
pay-
Patreon money on that.
I say I actually kind of pay for like the
The
website. So like,
website doesn't count. The
we're negative.
website doesn't count.
We're negative. No, I link things there. That we're negative 60. Although maybe we sold some merch. I don't actually ever look. We have merch, by the way, everybody. Good shit. Check the website, strengthhammer.net.
Strengthhammer.com.net.
No,
It's
not that.
.org.
Rush for hire.
Anyway,
/superstore.
sorry, Dave. I interrupted you. Please continue.
No, I'm just really looking forward to getting actual back to painting, which I never thought I'd say because I don't like painting. But I gotta get some Carnosaurs painted because those things are pretty nasty in 3rd edition.
Right.
And I need to start painting my Igneth for the Path to Glory stuff that I know Neil's very excited about.
Speaking of hobby, for anyone that uses GW brushes, I don't think there's anyone that does, but I picked up the synthetic brushes, and they work well. I like them a lot.
I've heard good things about them, actually.
And I
Mostly
also
for
picked up the Tommy extra thin cement. I've always been using Model Masters, but since Model Masters went under, I need to find a new brand. So I'm trying this out.
Man,
It's okay.
Loctite super glue. That's all you need in life.
No one's going to use goddamn super glue. Damn it.
They're wrong like me.
Triggered.
So, my hobby.
Wait, why don't you guys use Elmer's glue? That's all I use.
How do I kick
You
him
use
from
plastic cement? I use rubber cement.
I just use Scotch tape.
this? Oh God.
Spitting a prayer.
Something else working. So my hobby. So I picked up the Dominion box set. I'm going to sell the Cruel Boys. They're just. I haven't really dove into a Destruction Army yet. If I do, it'd probably be Iron Jaws. Cruel Boys don't do it for me. Sculpts are amazing. Also, at the same time, looking at them, I do not want to paint them because that looks like a lot of work. So I'm going to sell it to a local club member. I am going to paint it most, if not all, of the Stormcast. We're going to see if I'm going to do all of them. I usually just like adding like a few of the new chamber release, whatever it is. So I mean, really, I'll be honest, I bought this Dominion box set as soon as I saw that Yandrasta was on sprue with other heroes, which means I don't know when or if she's going to get her solo released, and I want Yandrasta. So that's why I bought this box. I have Yandrasta, and sure, I'll paint some of the other ones for fun, because my Stormcast scheme isn't super hard.
Technically, they did confirm that they will be releasing Yandraste separately, but I will preface that it's the same. The confirmation came from the same place that said that Curse City was going to be a regular product. So.
Right. So, and like I said, $200 for Dominion is a really good deal.
Very good deal.
Yeah. And I wanted the core book, so I was like, okay, sure, not a big deal. So if I'll sell off the Cruel Boys, maybe I'll sell off some of the Stormcast and just paint a few, or maybe I'll paint them all. They're all on my hobby desk, so that's my current goal. Shortly after that, I have a
Backlog.
I do have a backlog right now. I'm working through it.
Hashtag backlogged and loving it.
No, it's driving me nuts, actually. Also, Matt has a model that I requested him to order in for me because my shop didn't have it and his shop did. So I can make a custom hero for my Blades of Corn. So yeah, internet, if you're listening, a playtester's going to start playing Blades of Corn. What does that mean? I don't know, because it's me. It can mean really nothing.
It means he's ready to lose.
It means I had a conversion idea for my named hero, so I'm going to do that.
I don't know why you bought 200 blood letters. That doesn't make any sense.
What?
But all right.
Who knows?
It doesn't actually.
Yeah. And then after that, I finally pulled the trigger because I literally have more Daughters of Cain now than I do High Elves. I have over 10,000 points of Daughters of Cain. Prior to this, my biggest army was my High Elves in 8th edition. It was barely past 10,000 points, and that was including like all the items that you could put in the book into the army. So it was like just barely across that line somehow. So since I reached that goal, I finally pulled the trigger, and I bought some Raging Hero models, as well as I have a lovely Avatar of Cain that Matt got me from Gamek Miniatures and Vince Venturella. We should have him on this show. I don't know if he'll come on because it's nonsense, but he probably would because it's just fun, and he's a good guy. He gifted me a nice Melusite. I'm not sure where it's from, but that's what I'm going to base my custom hero off of. So I'm going to do a 1,000-point Crusade force with non-GW models just to paint something different, and maybe it'll grow to 2,000 points eventually. So it's also like a sub Daughters of Cain army.
Did you just say Crusade Force?
Yeah, it's Crusade Force. Dawnbringer Crusade. That's what it's called.
That was called Path to Glory.
No, it's called Dawnbringer Crusade.
What are you smoking?
Nothing. What are you smoking?
Sounds like space stuff.
The space stuff is just called Crusade.
I think you're getting current releases mixed up with future releases.
No,
and you're
I'm
letting
not.
things slide.
I'm not.
Playtester.
No, it's
Sounds
not.
like space.
It's not.
He's buying for the NDA Crusade army.
Will you guys please open the fucking core rulebook and read it? God damn. Okay. Or listen to 2 Plus Tough. He talked about it.
Okay, he's trying to be a playtester.
You two have a shared delusion, that's all.
Well, it's fun. So I have a 1,000-point army I'm going to use. I have a nice new Dawnbringer Crusade journal. I'll do everything in there and flesh out the army
In
as I
Path
decide
to
to go.
Glory journal.
Path of Glory journal. Yeah.
It's on the website as a Path to Glory journal.
Yeah. Space!
It says right here, Path to Glory.
Dave, will you please search Dawnbringer Crusade, because I feel like I'm being gaslit and I'm
I can't search it. I literally took pictures of these pages.
It does
Google
not
it.
exist.
Anyway.
It sounds like space.
Anyway, I have a 1,000-point Dawnbringer Crusade force that could also be used in Path to Glory, if you want. I look forward to painting it up after the Stormcast. That'll be a very slow, take my time, paint with. So that's going to be my hobby. I'm looking forward to it. I have no need to rush into anything. I will pick up the new Stormcast book that's been announced whenever it comes out. I will play them for some fun.
He just said Russian. He's not going to rush into anything, what has Russian stuff into it? Chaos Dwarves have Russian hats. So,
and Alex's house has Russian stuff in it.
Oh, man. Chaos Dwarves confirmed. Playtester.
Anyway.
I'm never welcome on the show again.
This totally just talks about a Path to Glory army and everything.
Okay.
So unless you pronounce PATHTOGLORY as Dawnbringer Crusade,
All right. Well,
don't think it's.
That's my hobby. So, Neil, why don't you talk about your hobby? Lead us into the main topic with a segue while I take up my phone and I start searching Dawnbringer Crusade.
Now, I think we could go like Beautiful Mind on this and like post up pictures from the battle tomes and everything and just connect the letters that spell out Dawnbringer Crusade.
Fancy a new life beginning in the order to the mortal realms? Join a Dawnbringer Crusade today. Warhammer community site.
Well, why don't you go on to the
hashtag new AOS?
Why don't you go on to the Games Workshop website and look up the diary?
I want the old diary back because I only have 30 pages left. Anyway,
All right, buckle in, kids. We're going to talk about my hobby now, which has been getting ready, as you can see, right here somewhere over there. Getting ready for Battle Across the Realms, which is an ever ongoing thing. We got all of our books in that has everybody's narratives, and I think these three lovely gentlemen are in possession of theirs now. So,
Indeed.
outside of a snafu on the table of contents, it looks pretty good. I can't stand that. Whenever I look at it, it's all I think about. So, but I'm also working on these lovely magic, and by magic I actually mean bars, triumph, and treachery cards here.
Why don't you let the folks know what BARS stands for?
Battle Across the Realms, and that is what we're going to be doing in less than a month, kids. We're going to have a 2-day narrative event,
which it is going to be on July 31st and August 1st.
Correct.
So we will be posting plenty of updates. If you're looking for, I just want to give a shout out to this real quick. Mr. Mephisto over on his channel, his Twitch channel. He will be doing his Rantathon, which is 24-hour live charity stream where he raises money for mental health awareness. He did it last year. He raised lots of money for it. He's also doing it the same weekend. I think because he actually tried to plan around all the events, and I think Neil changed the date.
No. It's just been that.
Okay. Well, regardless, if you're looking for something to watch while you look at the updates of the tweets from myself, Dave, and Neil, please check that out over on Mr. Mephisto's channel.
I'm actually not very good at letting the community know when any of my events are happening. So the fact that we actually got 32 people for this thing is pretty incredible.
I'm willing to bet that while the three of us are tweeting our results, we can convince Matt to occasionally say the word tweet loudly that day.
Yes. Well, I
no
might.
problem.
I might, if it works out, we might do live updates to Mr. Mephisto's channel of how the event's going.
Ooh, fancy.
It'd be from my stream. Neil and Dave, you don't have to do anything. Just
perfect.
Even better. I can commit to that.
Yeah, so preparing for that, which is still building lots of terrain. I've got a buddy, his name's Ben. Ben has a 3D printer, and Ben is making us a bunch of objectives for Battle Across the Realms. We have Triumph-based objectives, and so they represent one of 7 different things. And do it. And so, like, one's gold, one's artifacts. So we'll have actually kind of small, tiny little terrain pieces to put on other terrain pieces that will represent those things. So I'm going to have to paint many, 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 many of those in the next 2 weeks. And they are still not in my possession just yet. So that's coming up. I've been painting some Soul Blight here and there. Painted a real crappy corpse cart that you all got to witness in the game this weekend. Chuck got to have that first hand. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Yep. And and so outside of doing that actual hobby, I ran an event this past weekend for AOS 3.0 launch day. So.
As an aside, Neil, I believe. I know I will be coming out probably Friday night, if you'll have me that night to crash on your couch. So if you need help painting stuff the night before, I will be available.
I may actually have you do that because I just found out that I have to test for a karate belt on the Friday before our event. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to hightail it to Battlegrounds to set up the event afterwards.
Okay, maybe I'll go to Battlegrounds first, and then like I said, I'm not sure Matt will be joining me as well. I know both of us have the invite to crash on the couch, and so we're going to cuddle on your couch in the basement. Looking forward to it.
There you go.
So now, Neil, what you should do, I can get you these objectives in your hand if you just commit to using Noblars as objectives. I can have them in your hands, and all you do is you have to just paint 180 of those.
That would actually be kind of funny, like find a Noblar. If you can bring me a Noblar, if you can find the Noblar, you get prize points.
See, that's one thing I was telling Chuck for...
I'm going to get 180 prizes.
I was telling Chuck for years that at Nova we should find one piece of terrain, and under it should say, please CTO for your prize.
Yeah, stop. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but now I want to see everyone at Nova going.
Right.
Nice.
So
No,
yeah,
Neil,
so
I'm going to tell everybody that you've done that on the inside of those styrofoam pieces.
Oh, we got
Oh,
burnt
yeah.
They
apart.
just
That's
get
right.
dominated even further.
Nice.
That'd be great.
yes, we're currently repairing a lot of terrain that's resided there
Well,
over.
before we dive into the La Rocca Invitational Battle Boogaloo AOS 3.0 that happened, let's start out with me and Matt's trip with our good friends Alex and Cole over to the great state of Ohio. Matt.
Well done.
Matt.
Yes.
How would you like to lead this off with our great escape from Pennsylvania?
Man, I don't know about you, man. I hopped in the car and just gassed it as far as I could without thinking you guys are going to be like holding on for dear life. And
Yes. Actually, so we're going to back up a little bit. Good friend of the show, Alex, who has been on in the form of the fitness portion a couple weeks ago. Those Russians, you see those dash cam footages? Yeah, it's true. I don't think he knew what the brake was. I'm sitting in the back seat thinking I'm going to fly through this windshield. I got seatbelt on. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? So we make it to Matt's house. I'm thinking, okay, well, Matt's a great driver. I've been many drives with Matt. He's a fantastic driver. Not a big deal. Alex is young.
10 minutes to Wapner. Yeah.
Okay, so Matt, we go fill up at the gas station nearest to his house. I air up the tires for him. I'm like, I got this, no problem. Let's perfect that gas mileage. I don't know, outside of the small construction zone, if we hit below like 85 the whole time. I'm in the front seat. Okay, meanwhile, I'm in the front seat. Space is limited in the car because like Matt had to bring tables to the event. Everyone's bringing their armies. I'm like, I'll hold my army on my lap. It's only like an hour and 50-minute drive. Not a big deal. So I'm sitting here like I have his realization as Matt's fucking flying down the interstate. And I'm like, this airbag goes off. This army's going through me. Like, not only am I in trouble, but my army's gone. Double whammy.
No, your army will be inside you, Chuck.
What's battle film? So it might survive.
You've always wanted.
It's battle film, so it might survive. So we make it, thankfully, safely. Matt is a good driver, but like, pedal to the metal. And I was sitting there going like the whole time. I was like,
you did not expect him to go plaid.
Well, there was moments where I'm just like I complained about Alex the whole way because he wasn't using the brakes well, and I was like, should I start complaining about Matt, or I'm just sitting there like existential crisis, like, am I just fucking old now? Like, did I hit that? Where I'm just like, go too fast.
No, I went with Matt from his house to your invitational event. Same exact scenario.
Okay, all right.
Listen, was it a smooth ride? Yes.
It was.
The way back wasn't smooth. You hit one pothole, and I was just like, how did your tire not pop?
That is not my fault.
That's Pennsylvania's fault, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when I was my asshole was puckered the entire time I was in that car with him.
Matt, I really need to know, do you cover it, or do you have your passengers pay for your nitrous refills?
I know a guy.
I gave him $20 and I was out. I'm like, I'm done. I had $11 in my pocket. I gave it to Neil for pizza. I'm like, I'm tapped, guys.
Listen, it's a smooth ride. There was no shenanigans. I didn't ride anyone's tail. You're fine.
You're right. You did it. All right, so we make it safely to the La Rocca residence where we're having our gaming and enjoying it. And we get there, and Neil's like, time for dinner. Takes us to a Mexican place. I'm like, good thing my sphincter's nice and tight right now. Actually, you took us.
See, I planned ahead.
Actually, it was a delicious Mexican meal. I watched Neil and another friend of the show. You've seen him on my Twitter, and haven't had him on the show yet. But we should. But Steven Mata, both Neil and Steven got margaritas as big as their head.
Yeah, I was pretty well lit after that.
To be fair,
then it went on.
That's what this was about. I was kind of happy. Like, we had a nice guys weekend per se. So we're like having Mexican food. You know, we're all crashing at your place. Like, your family's away. you had plenty of beer for us. I brought some cigars. Man, Neil, what? Like,
Don't smoke, kids.
no,
So
smoke harder.
the preference of this event was we were going to do the first 3.0 tournament,
Which
and
we successfully achieved. I'm sorry, like I want to say this real quick. We had 2 games. Scoring was based upon victory points as a total. I saw a tweet. Now he's a good guy.
wins and losses first.
Right, yeah. There was a tweet I saw. And I wanted to challenge it. I did it because I was like, I don't want to take anyone's goodness away. But over in England, Ben Sava, great painter, attended an event and he took first. Congratulations to him. He's a very, very strong player. And he was like, world first. And I was like, you're not world first. We had the world first here over in America. we had a 1-day 2-game event. We had a world first champion of AOS 3.0. I just want to say that outright. I'm not trying to start drama.
We were rolling before the preview show. I mean, we were rolling hours before the preview show.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I almost finished my first game before the preview show.
Almost. But yeah, so we're we have this great time. I think one of my this truly was like, this was for me personally, because like I haven't been to a major event now. Matt, I know you've been to ACO. This was my first quote unquote major event since everything's kind of opened back up as far as worldwide, or at least in America. I said, if you've been following me, like like my club stuff has continued. Like we've been pretty open. We're in a nice rural area, so it's not a big deal for us. Compared to a big city. But this was the first travel event, so I was really enjoying it. So we had a nice dinner with a bunch of people, and then we were hanging around a campfire. We're smoking cigars. I'm not sure if I'm sure how American it was, because technically we were smoking, right now, illegal Cubans. Ooh. They were bought during a time of legality.
Allegedly doing that.
All talk of illegal activities are all for entertainment purposes only, and are exaggerated.
We're not monetized, guys. Who cares? But yeah, I really enjoyed that night, just hanging by the fire, having cigars, drinking beer with everybody. Like, that was fun. We were well out late, just having fun, just chilling. All had a nice sleep. Woke up the next day. There was donuts. There was donut holes. Neil made eggs and bacon. There was coffee. Immediately after, like literally, I finished my second cup of coffee. Or no, did I have 1 or 2? Anyway, coffee was done at 9.
Yep.
9:01 was beer.
Yeah. I will say too, like after having attended your invitational event, which was I believe 8 people, I did not get to attend the Pittsburgh event. And then ours, I could do these 2-day invitationals, maybe 3 if somebody's feeling froggy. I could do them for the rest of my life and skip the big ones. I have just as much fun.
I agree. There's something
the only thing is
about it. Yeah.
I don't get to see everybody at these invitationals. That's where the big events are nice. But
if you have
for just hanging out with your buddies,
if you have enough invitationals, you can see everybody. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. I do want to say early in the morning, Matt's still asleep at this time. Like I'm well in the coffee. I had a couple donuts, had some eggs, had some bacon. Matt's still asleep, and it's fine. We're not worrying about starting yet. Like we're not trying to get him up. He's taking his time. It's all good. Like I'm up and showered early. That's just what I do. That's how I act.
Then he rolls over and violates Matt.
No. Well, no, I didn't roll over. So Neil takes his
muscle relaxers. You probably could have got away with it then.
Neil takes his lovely smart TV, and he brings up YouTube on it, and he's like looking for like searching Warhammer, and I'm thinking like maybe Warhammer Weekly, maybe re-rolling ones, but he's gonna put in something Warhammer. And I was like, oh, here, I'll take that remote, just to see if he would, and he did. So obviously, first thing up, Taylor Swift. And I just start going through. I'm like, how can I destroy the algorithm on Neil's family's YouTube channel? So I just start searching through all the music I like to listen to, and it's all over the place. Like a lot of pop. Like we got the Osborne brothers, so we got like a good old Rocky Top, Dead South, Ava Max, Kesha, Katy Perry. Like we're going all over the place. And Matt gets up at this certain point because like he hears all the bullshit and he's just like, God damn, Chuck, it's too early for this. And it was. My favorite part, I put on Carly Rae Jepsen. Cut to the Feeling, and if you'd like, go to YouTube, check it out. It's a very poppy song. It's a very poppy song. I found everybody's fucking limit. That song was like a minute in, and it's not a long song. I just see like people like just like I see, and finally Cole speaks up. Hey Chuck, we're gonna change this, and I was like, cool, you guys do you. I walked away. Yeah. I was just seeing how long you guys could put up with my bullshit. Pretty long.
Yeah, Dave got syphilis from that song, I think.
Yeah. The worst was Chuck said, "You guys do you," and he walked away with the remote.
Yes.
No, I'll tell you, I was largely okay with it. It was the speaking of feeling like you're getting old, it was the Cardi B for me that I was like,
actually, the Cardi B.
Am I actually offended?
That was a Stephen Mata request that I snuck in there, and I was like, well, you can't really go terribly wrong with it, so yeah. But
I'm lucky to say I barely recognize any of these names,
yes.
And I feel happier for it.
Well, that's a great start. We haven't even rolled dice yet, and let's do a quick recap. So Neil, you and I played round one because I grudged you.
I think we have to do a little rundown of each one of our games, don't we?
I think we do.
Well, we're going to start out with this one. This was.
So
do we have a long?
That Chuck and I have played twice now. Yeah, no, Dave, you got to slow yours down. Your speeder's up, brother.
Neil, this was our third game. This is our third game. We've played twice prior to this. Once a practice game for Adepticon,
which yours truly won.
Yep, and I was bringing a brand new Daughters
at
of Cain
Adepticon.
Yep.
We wind up in game 4 very low on the tables,
yep.
And that's where you find me generally.
Yeah, I got my practice games in with that list, and I took it to you in game 4. So
just destroyed, yes. Absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
And then this one, and I believe Chuck gets the first turn, and he's got some bow snacks. And the bow snacks all put their sights right on Manfred, whom I deployed fairly terribly, within range of them, and he smoked him in a round.
And I want to say this.
Manfred has left the building.
I want to say this going into this game. This is for Neil's benefit. So originally I was going to bring a Kraith list and just have fun and hang out because that's kind of what this event was about. And then Cole, co-host of the Big M Power Hour, pretty much said, "Fuck you, bring the hard shit. I need to test my list." Thinking maybe him and I would play.
Thanks, Chuck, by the way, since you guys never played each other.
Exactly. He was bringing a hard IDK list. I'm like, all right, I'll bring a tuned up Daughters of Cain list. So I go into that with this, and Neil's like, oh, fuck me. I took off Manfred round 1. How'd the rest of the game go?
Let me say this, too. So Manfred was gone within the first 10 minutes of our game. That's with setup. That's with it. We kind of got in there. Chuck's like, here's my hero phase. Now we're going to shoot. And 390 of my points of my army gone. We're not playing with it anymore.
Yep.
Which, I have to say, Chuck, possibly the greatest comeback of all time. I mean, in Warhammer history, it's probably never been done.
I don't know. The Americans beating the Russians in that one Olympics was pretty damn good.
I'm saying
maybe
Warhammer
second.
History. History, it's just never been done before. 390 points down within 10 minutes. Maybe we'll say 5. Let's say 5. I think that's probably still accurate.
Yeah, I learned that maybe I shouldn't have worried about Manfred so much as a Neferata. Holy cow.
She's a nasty bitch.
Yeah.
She was like the Cardi B of Warhammer, baby.
You got a cursor. She melts to the curse.
Didn't have curse.
Need a priest out there.
So essentially, we go back and forth. Neferata comes into my bow snakes, and my bow snakes disappear after a couple rounds. And
now I will say, little feather in the cap. I sent in the Black Knights first to kind of take the what do you call it? Unleash Hell.
Yep.
Very, very proud of my tactical prowess there.
I rolled.
He made
I rolled
good
no mortal
tactical
wounds on
decision.
them. All right, I rolled no mortal wounds on that unit, so I don't want to hear. Like my rolls were bad, so sure.
There's 3 of them left afterwards, which is astounding.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go through that game. Neil gets the bottom of turn 3, so he gets to remove the objective. By the way, if you're playing in Gur, which you should be.
Or else.
Game 1 was which scenarios, Chuck?
Savage Gains.
Savage Games, as it should be.
I was
As is good and proper.
I chose that because everyone at literally every place has been like Savage Gains. That's Chuck's scenario. I'm like, it sure is, and I'm like, first time playing Savage Gains against another opponent, I lost. gotta redeem.
So
that
why
one.
are people calling it your game?
Because Gains, bro.
Oh, okay.
Do you even lift, Matt?
No, I don't. Is that
You and Strength Hammer, bro?
Do you know where
No,
you're
man.
fucking at right now? Come on.
listen, man? All I know is this is Big M's Power Hour Light, and that's all there is to it.
I mean, it really is. But yeah, Neil took out my entire flank of all those bow snakes. My big unit of witch elves, they didn't disappear, but they were kind of like negated, especially with Neil's clutch removing of the one objective. I did still get to get my no, it's not primary.
Grand
Thank you.
strategy.
Grand strategy, which was the Predatory. I decided to try it out, which actually I don't think I like as much. Because it was okay for this event because no one else was going for that grand strategy of the predatory territory to hold objectives. But it's like if I'm playing someone else's that's going for it, I don't want to have to compete for my points. I'm gonna go with I think future, like with the list I have, I'm gonna go with to keep the priest alive and just keep a priest hidden in the backfield and be like, okay, cool, thanks for my 3 victory points.
Coward.
Exactly.
I know. I ate all the priests. I did. Ate them all.
I threw them at you because but I've made a list that has 1 extra that can just sit in the backfield and just be like, you can't see me. But yeah, no, it was a very well played game. It was really fun, and holy crap, I am scared of Neferata. So if you field Neferata against me, she's dead. I don't care. You could have.
I will say with the shortened board size, I'm really not even sure how I hide her. Not sure how I do it. There better be a big ass piece of blocking terrain somewhere, because otherwise, not sure how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and actually, one interesting thing I've noticed in my games too. I've been running 2 units of 10 bow snakes, and I thought I had deployment correct, but it's like I'm looking at it like I need to pay more attention to how I'm deploying them in their formation, because if you have 10 models on 40 mil bases, it's real easy to get out of coherency by removing 1 model. If you're not, and I was just like, there's the second game especially. I was like, I'm losing a couple snakes here because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you keep those rank and file and move along with your day, man.
For you kids who don't understand what Neferata can do, I think why Chuck's a little bit salty about Nephi here is because he charged in what's it called, like the blood thing, coven thing. That's not. It's what's the witch elf?
Cauldron of Blood?
Cauldron of Blood.
Cauldron of Blood. There you go.
I was like,
He
nobody said
charged it
anything.
in. Neferata. I know that. I play corn, so it's got to be blood something or whatever.
Fever.
You know?
Skull Wagon.
Skull wagon thing. It doesn't even have horses that pull it around. I don't understand it. It's a stupid model.
Horseless
Whatever.
carriage.
And so Nephi thought it was so dumb. She's like, "You don't even have anything pulling this thing."
It
So
makes
this model is null and void. This isn't even a real unit. It can't even move. And so when it came in, it bounced off of Nephi, and she has an attack with a dagger where if she gets 1 wound all the way through, at the end of combat she gets to roll the dice, and on a 5-up,
And he got
if it's a hero,
2 wounds through onto it.
2 wounds
right?
through. And so she wound up, I think, taking 1 wound maybe out of this.
She took 2.
and
She
then
took
I
both.
popped a 5.
Yep.
Did she take 2?
She took 2.
So I popped the 5, and the blood coven, witch coven thing with no horses that doesn't pull it. It's
So hold on.
Yay.
Hour.
It was
12
gone.
minutes, 51 seconds in. Second cat appears. What's the cat's
Second
name?
Good
cat.
Dave?
girl, Nora.
Nora.
This is Nora.
Pet Nora for us.
Nora Laserbeam.
Thank you.
Cat extraordinaire.
Right.
Yes.
We'll have to edit that in.
That hurt. I mean, really, with the buffs Neferata can get with Ethereal and then also like All Out Defense, if you're not doing mortal wounds to her, she's not leaving.
Nope,
And
she's going nowhere.
with all my bow snakes gone, thanks to that and was it Prince Forgeries or was it just a general zombie dragon?
What's that? Say again?
Your
It was
zombie
just
dragon.
general zombie.
Oh, okay.
General zombie thing. I was distracted by the cat's ass. That's
That's fine.
The asterisk.
But yeah, between those two, they took out all my bow snakes, so my mortal wound output was 0, except for impact hits, which I kept rolling 1s all weekend. I was like, oh, sweet, I got D3 mortal wounds on you. Cool, there's 1. Because I was playing Keltnar, so I could retreat and charge, but still. Yeah, Neil took the game. He's now currently ahead of me in our little games here by 1. So next game, I'm coming for vengeance, and I hope
It's actually my only winning record in Sigmar in 6 years.
Yeah. First game of 3.0, Neil takes the victory. I thought he was going to retire right then and there.
I should have just stopped.
Anyway, Dave, can you do maybe quicker than you want?
Let's say, hold on. If everyone needs to get like some juice, maybe a blanket. Wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Take your melatonin now. So I got to play a game against John DeCoulis, who's a great local player who is really, I mean, honestly, you can't find a better opponent than John. He's just having a great time. He'll play, Neil and I were talking about it after the event, he'll play whatever style of game you want to play. You want to go balls to the wall, he'll do it with you. You want to play nice and easy, he'll do it with you. Phenomenal opponent. Would highly recommend. 6 stars out of 5.
Yep.
So I took my Seraphon against his Tzeentch army. And early on, I was like,
now,
what
quick,
the hell am I going to do?
His Tzeentch army with only 10 pink horrors.
Yes.
That's the type of Chad John is. He only brings 10 pink horrors because he respects you.
Anything less than 60 is disgraceful.
But he did have 2 Lords of Change because that's the thing he could summon.
Yep.
I guess that's how the rules work now. Which is kind of scary, but because I had a magic heavy list, he had a magic heavy list. Anyway, I thought I'm going toe to toe with the spell guys, and I had opportunities to roll against most of his spells to potentially unbind them.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I ended up getting the upper hand. He focused fire on things that ended up not being super critical. I was able to take it in the end with relatively comfortable margin. Take it in the butt, you mean? That's synonymous. So really, yeah, it was a great game. I really enjoy the 3.0 rules and their interactivity.
That was about, Dave. That was about 4 hours and 24 minutes shorter than what your actual game was. So that was well done. That was a good summary.
Yeah, good.
And that was my short game on the day.
Yeah. Matt, how about your first game?
I won't go into too much depth because we're going to cover it on Power Hour.
Fair enough.
Since it was against Cole. It was my freshly painted Teclis against his eels.
The wayward sons and daughters of Teclis.
Yeah, I'll say leave your Teclises home for the narrative games, and you had a good run. But yeah, the age of Teclis is over. It's time for him to go into that the Golden Oaks Retirement Center.
You had a good 3 months, everybody.
Yeah, so it was definitely. I just didn't have anywhere near enough to deal with his stuff. Like, it was just, if anything he had touched anything I had, it was taken off the table.
It's hard to protect Teclis against eels. Like, I know. The game that
Like I
convinced.
said, I mean, even before that, he managed to take. So even before that, he was able to take off a fully buffed unit of wardens, 20 block of wardens. He was able to take an entire thing off the table in one combat with a turtle.
Well, yeah, that even pre-turtle updates. The game that convinced Cole to play Ideneth and buy Ideneth, I played my Lumineth against my Ideneth. He was running my Ideneth. No turtles, and only 6 eels. And 6 eels took off Techless. And he was like, oh boy. So that's the game that made him that convinced him to pick up IDK. So he kind of knows how to take out the Techless.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, with their ability to fly, yeah, you can't protect Techless from that. But yeah, like I said, I mean, other than that, if you wanted to bring a cow to the in a list, well, you should probably just save yourself, I think, 20 points and just ally in a turtle.
Maybe. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to game 2. Matt, why don't you just keep carrying on and tell us how game 2 went for you?
Yep. So
once again, you've driven how far to?
Yep. This
play
is another
opponents?
2-hour trip to fight against Alex. He brought his cities list. The last time I fought his cities list, it was a very different story. I had my giants, my big boys, and I was tearing him limb from limb. He had remembered that match and was very upset about it to this day. And he decided that he didn't like the things that I had on the table and decided that I need to put them all away immediately. He did the opposite of Cole. He was like, meh, let Techless do his thing, cast all your little spells, I don't care. And so he let me just do whatever spell dom I wanted, and he said, yes, daddy, more, and it just didn't care. Like, no.
Now, to be fair, before he was playing the Magic Army, which was Hallowheart.
Yeah, he was playing Hallowheart before.
And now he's playing Hammerhall, so he's like command points everywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, cool.
Which was hilarious. He was getting like no command points.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
He was also super not happy with Total Eclipse every round, except for one that he was able to dispel. But like, it didn't matter. He was like, I'll just take that off the table, move that away. Yeah, by the end of the game, all I had left was Techless, and the Cathar was taken off the last round when a steam tank shot her in the face. So
in the face.
So the last thing on the table was Techless. So almost half my army was left.
Hey, I mean, you're still 1-2 for 3.0 because you destroyed my freaking Sylvaneth. Because you and I got a game in prior to this, Lumineth versus Sylvaneth. I was having great times with Sylvaneth. I was like, man, these games are going great. Then I ran into Lumineth, and it's like, hey, do you know what Mortal Wounds are? I was like, no. And Lumineth is like, here's all of them, and my Sylvaneth decided to just disappear.
Yeah, I'm still saying if you switch those Kragnos Hunters over to the bows.
Yeah, I'm not painting. That army's what it is.
So,
yeah.
I can go into my game 2. My game 2 is against Stephen Mata and his Sons of Baymat. And
with Kragnos.
Now I've played Mata. What's that?
Sons
with
of Baymat, featuring Kragnos.
So my army, my death army, includes 3 very expensive monsters. 3 of them actually, and not a whole lot else. Everything else is pretty much just a speed bump. And we decided. So I've played Mata in fun games before. I'm not sure I ever played him in a competitive, like in a tournament game. And so, knowing Steve's pretty much up for whatever, he's coming to Battle Across the Realms as well. And I know he's going to be a great time in Triumph and Treachery. I said, how are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to play this game? And he comes up with an idea where we're going to drink a beer. You can make your opponent drink every time you take off, or they take off one of your units. Okay, so if he takes off one of my units,
I'm glad he didn't say pants.
We should say the second game. I can't remember the actual name, but it was essentially the new version of Shifting Objectives.
Correct. Yeah. So three objectives only.
Yeah.
Just right in the middle, with a bunch of giants and Kragnos just ready to come forward. Tactical errors were made. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models. So my chances of actually him making me drink very small. His chances of making of having to drink very large. So I gave him the first turn. That was an error. We won't be repeating that ever again. And when you win deployment against 5 models, think about what you want to do. Maybe that might have been the thing. So he brought them straight across the board to me. Kragnos kind of coming around towards all my chaff, just murdering them off the board. 2 units of Black Knights met their demise very quickly in turn 1. I very quickly shifted my entire army away from Kragnos while trying to build up a wall to keep speed bumping him, and then took Manfred and the vampire on the dragon into one of his giants. Got him pretty much dead, pretty darn quick, and then by the next turn, we didn't get him dead. And so he was drinking quite a lot. I think he's like 2 beers in, and we're on turn 2 at this point. And I've positioned my Neferata and the zombie dragon in such a way now, after this giant is dead, that Kragnos now has a charge straight on in. For those of you who know what Kragnos does to monsters, you know that he has a potential of 36 mortal wounds per monster. So, but this is only if Kragnos rolls anything but a 7. And so, very good throw here. We're jacked up. We're waiting to see what the throw is. First one is a 7. Whew, no chance this is going to happen again. Second one is a 7. Now the whole time I'm screaming out, if you listen to Warhammer Weekly, here comes the boom the entire time, because he brought him in. I'm like, we're just going to have some fun with this, and I'm going to make this guy drink like crazy after this happens. And so at this point, he misses both 7s, and so he doesn't have to drink at all because he does not kill either one of them. I think he finishes off the zombie dragon with Kragnos' regular attacks. But
meanwhile, during this charge after these 7s, there's hooting and hollering upstairs. Myself, my opponent, John, and then Alex and Matt are all 4 of us. We're in the basement. We're actually being pretty quiet, just kind of playing the game, having a good time, pretty chill. We hear that going upstairs, and John's just like, don't those guys know we're having a serious game down here? Like, sarcastically. I was like, I'm going to go upstairs and fucking tell them. So I just walk upstairs. I was like, guys, we're trying to have a tournament downstairs. Can you keep it down? And they're just like, fuck you now.
Oh, man. The first dice roll was like, second, even louder the next time. Yep. It was great. And so I think by the end of the game, I have a unit of Black Knights that I brought back from the grave, and they're over here trying to score objectives. And I've got Manfred is the last thing on the table. I've got 2 models. He has 1, Kragnos, who I've spit on a couple times, but that was about it. That's about as much damage as he took. And any of that, he just healed right back up. Anyway, the corpse cart is sitting there, and he decides in his last turn he's going to charge in and just kill that and take whatever objective it was holding. And I was like, you realize you could have just taken that objective, but you killed one of my models. And I made that guy chug an entire beer for killing that corpse cart.
Oh, the best use of corpse cart ever.
So he had a 6-beer game. That was pretty good.
Nice.
That sounds like it's typical.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Natter days were running freely.
Yep.
I would just like to point out that a 6-beer game in one of my games, you're not even buzzed.
Yeah, you're pretty relaxed. So, Dave, what about your game? You played Carl, correct?
I played Carl and his Stormcast shoot 'em up army, so this is, I think, only my second 1v1 against Carl, who's also a fantastic opponent. And so I'm lining up my stuff, and I know he's just itching to just deploy his shit and blast me to hell.
Got like shoot cat.
Yeah. And so there he is, lined up, and he's got the big Star Drake too. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
By the way, Carl Stardrake actually smokes.
Yeah.
He's got a
It's
smoker
awesome.
in the mouth.
Yeah, like a
and it
Lionel
puffs
train engine.
smoke.
Yep.
Like like that. Yeah.
That's exactly how he gets the smoke. It's from those. So phenomenal job, and he says he hates the way it's painted, which is just hilarious. But so ultimately, I watch him just focus all his fire on my Old Blood on Carnosaur, which didn't last particularly long in either game. But I'm able to go through and basically wipe out his backline shooting. And in the end, after everybody else had circled around us, because I think they had all already finished dinner, this is not like reading War and Peace. This is like reading the entire Wheel of Time series twice. That's the duration of my game.
Of War and Peace.
Yeah, there was a moment near the end of your game with Carl that we had all finished our burgers and hot dogs that Neil had made, and Stephen Mata was just like, "What if we just go around their table and start cheering at like the stupidest things?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And I just got up and like everyone joined me. You just need that one person of confidence to go do something stupid. So we're just around you, have no idea what's going on in the game, and we're just cheering like, "Yeah, he rolled a 6," and just.
I was going on 4s. Any 4s anybody rolled, I was cheering on 4s.
Just to make you guys feel awkward. That was
Yeah. I already felt awkward.
I think it
because,
worked.
I mean, like, literally, I could see, like, the paint oozing off my models because these games were taking so long. But either that or my drugs were really working. But the game got down to the point where we were pretty close on actual points, victory points in the game. But I really wanted to kill his monster. I wanted to kill his Star Drake. And I had gotten him down to like 2 or 3 wounds or something. But all I have left are my Saurus Knights, which are on the far end of the field because they had to take an objective, my Slan, and my Skink Starseer, my narrative hero for bars. And so she went in and she charged him, but because he had all-out defense, he would have failed the 2 because she has Ren 1, and he would have died, except he had all-out defense. And then the next round, with him on 1 wound, I put God damn it, the standard bolt spell. I don't remember what it's called anymore.
Arcane Bolt.
Arcane Bolt.
Arcane Bolt. There you go. I put Arcane Bolt, so it's hovering around my Slan, and I actually charge his other surviving hero because he's got 1 hero and a 1 wound Star Drake. And I just ping him off while I attacked the other hero with my Slan, and so it felt pretty good to finally end up tabling that with my scraps left of my army. But it was a great game.
How long did it take?
I think it's still going.
Did you crack 5 hours on that one?
I think that was 5 hours on that one.
Yeah. So totally worth it. And now I think I understand what the Legends of the Painty Men guys are always talking about, how their games take forever. It's because they're me. That's the problem.
So what seemed to be the primary factor to these grandiose turns?
You've not played against me when I have spells. My hero phase is like, if we had started my first hero phase when this podcast started, I probably would have cast 2 spells by now.
And this is a Dave issue, not a edition issue.
Yeah, I mean, I cast 10 plus spells in a goddamn turn. What are you doing?
I'm clearly reading all of them 7 or 8 times